It's Friday, June 26th, and welcome to the reading of the Mansfield News Journal. My name is Pam, and let's begin today reading the area deaths. Dale K. Alt passed away Tuesday, June 23rd, 18 years after his multiple myeloma cancer diagnosis. He was 61. His family will receive friends from 1 to 5 p.m. Sunday, June 28th, in the Lexington Snyder Funeral Home. A funeral service honoring his life will be held at 11 a.m. Monday, June 29th, at North Woodbury Alliance Church in Mount Gilead. Richard Raymond Gibson, also known as Dick, currently of Rigby, Idaho, formerly of Williamsport, Ohio, passed away at the age of 94 in his home on Monday, May 25th. Per his request, no service will be held. Reginald Anthony Jones, age 55, affectionately called Bishop, was born May 2, 1965, and transitioned from this life on June 19th after a long illness. Visitation will be at 4 p.m. and private funeral service at 5 p.m. on Sunday, June 28th at Providence Baptist Church, 112 West 6th Street. William Gene Witt Underwood, age 80, peacefully passed away June 24th at Shelby Point after a long battle with Alzheimer's. A funeral service honoring her life will be at 10:30 a.m. Saturday, June 27th in the Fine Frock Chapel of the Marion Avenue Snyder Funeral Home, and friends may call from 9:30 a.m. to the start of the service. Well, that concludes the Friday Mansfield News Journal area death notices. Now for our first article. Coronavirus in Ohio. 282 confirmed cases in Richland County and 16 more since Monday by Monroe Trombley. As of Thursday, Richland County had 282 confirmed cases of the novel coronavirus, 16 more since Monday. When looking at illness onset, the date someone reported feeling sick, there have been 80 new cases in Richland County so far this month, compared to a total of 118 in May and 69 in April. Cumulative hospitalizations in the county rose to 45 from 39 since Monday, according to the Ohio Department of Health, and there have been 4 deaths in the county. This next article is titled NCSC Mulls 3% Pay Cut for All Employees by Lou Whitmire. The North Central State College Board of Trustees Wednesday night approved a $19 million 2020-2021 budget and discussed a 3% payroll deduction for all employees this fall. Dory Diab, NCSC's president, said, "The college budget reflects the college's priorities, but this year is like no other before. None of us have gone through this 100-year coronavirus pandemic, and usually when you go through a disaster, it happens in a short period of time. Then you start to recover. But this one is dragging along, and no one knows for how long." Diab said this brings with it much uncertainty and ambiguity. In the past, the budget brought to the board was more solid, he said. This year, we're providing you with a budget which is fluid, more like liquid, and it's based upon what we know today, and it may change tomorrow. Today, it's based on several assumptions, including the major ones of a 12% drop in summer enrollment, 15% drop in fall enrollment as of today, a 20% drop in state support based upon what the governor told us for this year, and we don't exactly know what it's going to be for next year, and 3% in reduction for wages for administration, faculty, and staff, including the president, Diab said. Again, all these are assumptions, and I want to emphasize this is just a snapshot of where we are right now, Diab said. They are assumptions and they are not set in stone, and we are ready to adjust them whichever way the wind blows. Our priorities remain focused on serving our students and the community and minimizing the impact on our people. Diab said a marketing campaign for enrollment has begun via media, billboards, and additional social media. Our main message is this: whatever happens with COVID, we are here to serve you, he said. Classes this fall will be in person, online, hybrid, and anything in between, Diab said. He updated the board on the safety of campus personnel and students, with students returning on August 17th for the fall semester. Masks will be required for all and provided for all, limiting buildings to one entrance, social distancing by keeping people 6 feet apart, and implementing plexiglass barriers, sanitizer stands, face shields, and more. We'll make our campus as safe as possible while providing the best learning environment possible while remaining agile, Diab said. Renda Klein, a member of the Ohio State University Mansfield Advisory Board, shared highlights about autumn semester courses which will be offered at OSUM in a variety of formats with members of the NCSC Board of Trustees. Some will be fully in person, some will be fully virtual, she said. And then we have some blended approaches as well, where individuals will be utilizing a combination of in-person and virtual experiences. Our first date of classes will be August 25th, and the last day of in-person classes on campus instruction will be November 25th, Klein said. Instructions in the last week of the semester is November 30th through December 4th, with finals December 7th through December 11th, held entirely virtual. She said a daily health check to report body temperatures for students, staff, and faculty will take place daily for anyone on campus. Staff will start to transition back to offices at OSU Mansfield in phases beginning July 1, Klein said. She said staff will be required to wear masks except when they're in their offices with the door shut. Social distancing is referred by the university as physical distancing, Klein said. The campus will also see the installation of several Brutus Buckeye statues soon. Deep cleaning of the buildings and construction of a new campus sign at Lexington Spring Mill Road are expected to be completed this summer, along with creation of a new organic chemistry lab. Klein said the university campus food and dining services will operate only by ordering and paying online through the Grubhub app with food pickup in the marketplace. This next article is titled, Historic Building Gets Muscle Car Murals. New B&B Auto Repair Site Decorated with Iconic Historical Events by Lou Whitmire. The former Rindle Springs building on Park Avenue East is now sporting murals with American muscle cars and iconic and historical events. Mechanic and Army veteran Bob Blanton, the owner of B&B Auto Repair, Inc. at 262 Park Avenue East, recently purchased the Rindle Springs building and parking lot next door to his existing business. The new building now displays the automotive murals on the west side of the exterior brick wall. Local artist Erica Russell is painting 9 murals around the block windows on the wall. Blanton bought the Rindle Springs building after the business closed in November 2019. He has completely redone the inside of the historic building, including new windows. His vision was that each mural would represent a different decade, starting with the 1950s. Russell started the project 3 weeks ago. She painted a Corvette from the 50s, and in the background, the Spring Mill Drive-In. The 1960s mural showcases Ohio native astronaut the late John Glenn and his first Earth orbit. The 70s mural features a Trans Am and the Goodyear blimp. Russell's mural of the 1980s is an IROC Z28 and the Corkscrew, which in that decade was one of Cedar Point's biggest roller coaster rides in Sandusky, Ohio, she said. The 90s will be a Dodge Viper and the Ohio State Reformatory, where Shawshank Redemption was filmed in the summer of 1993 in the city's historic prison-termed museum off of Ohio 545. Russell said she's still deciding on the 2020 mural and car. Each mural takes about a week depending on the weather, she said. Russell has painted a mural in Belleville at Ohio 13 and Ohio 97 on the side of a Belleville car wash. It depicts the U.S. flag with an American eagle. She also teaches art classes to individuals with disabilities at Element of the Arts in downtown Mansfield and holds painting parties. Blanton said the Rindle Springs business, his new home away from home, was believed to have been the area's oldest operating business, started in Crestline in 1841 by Lorenz Rindle and moving to Mansfield in 1948. Blanton graduated from Mansfield Senior High School and then enlisted in the U.S. Army, where he served for 6 years. He has been in business at 4 locations for 30 years. He still uses his existing business location next door to the Rindle Springs building and now has additional parking space at the new location. It's easier to say what we don't do. We don't rebuild transmissions and we don't do body work. We do all major and minor repairs, engine drivability, which is diagnosis, steering, suspension, brakes, air conditioning, everything, Blanton said. 6 people are employed at the business, including Matthew Blanton, Bob's youngest brother. Blanton said the family who operated the Rindle Springs business were great people and his good neighbors. There is so much history with the building, and it is a beautiful building, Blanton said. Blanton said he has remodeled the building, taking it down to its shell. I'm still working on it, he said. I've got new windows coming in for the front, which are being put in. All the electric, all new lighting, new paint, furnaces, air conditioning, water, plumbing, he said. Blanton said when the prior business initially started, they were blacksmiths who shoed horses. There were still old blacksmithing tools tucked away. It was really interesting going through the building. They actually shod the horses for Richland County and the police departments when they rode horses, he said. They progressed from that to doing springs on buggies and carriages. He said the building had machinery left from World War II. Cinemark Movie Theater plans to reopen July 10th. Moving on to our next article. Monroe Trombley Mansfield News Journal, Ontario. The area's sole indoor movie theater plans to reopen next month. Cinemark Theater, 2355 Walker Lake Road, is tentatively scheduled to open July 10th after being shuttered for more than 4 months. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine last month gave permission for indoor movie theaters along with zoos, museums, art galleries, and playgrounds to open on June 10th. The coronavirus pandemic has thrown the movie industry into a tailspin, and studios continue to tweak their release schedules based on a state-by-state patchwork of restrictions of indoor gatherings. Cinemark, the country's 3rd largest movie theater chain, has opened a handful of theaters in Texas and has announced a rollout schedule for the remaining theaters, with most opening in July. The larger chains, Regal and AMC, will begin reopening theaters in mid-July as well. The region's theater in Ontario will reopen with enhanced cleaning and sanitizing protocols, including staggered showtimes, reduced seatings, hand sanitizing stations, and increased air filtration. Guests will be strongly encouraged but not required to wear face masks. Among other things, each morning all auditoriums will be disinfected using pressurized sprayer equipment to reach all seats, handrails, armrests, tables, footrests, and cup holders. Occupied seats will be sanitized before each showtime. Restrooms will be disinfected and sanitized every 30 minutes, and all theater employees will have their temperatures checked before their shift and be provided face masks and gloves to wear during their shift. There are alternatives this summer if you're craving the big screen but would rather stay in your car. Spring Mill Drive-In was allowed to open earlier than indoor theaters and has been showing titles since mid-May. And the Renaissance Theater has introduced a new series called the Ren Backlot, where patrons can safely watch films and concerts from the comfort of their cars in the parking lot. I apologize for the title of this particular article. The title was Cinemark Movie Theater Plans to Reopen July 10th by Monroe Trombley. All right, moving on. Next article is titled Local Seniors Enjoy Crawford County Council on Aging Parking Lot Concert by Jerry Goebel from Bucyrus Telegraph Forum. About a dozen seniors gather outside the Crawford County Council on Aging Wednesday to listen to music performed by Harvey and Friends. Sorry, that was a duplicate sentence. In Bucyrus, Ohio's senior centers remain closed to the public due to the COVID-19 pandemic. That didn't stop the Crawford County Council on Aging from finding a way to keep local seniors entertained. On Wednesday, the council presented its first parking lot concert. About a dozen seniors came to hear music performed by local band Harvey and Friends. Some sat in their cars facing the building's covered entry, which served as a stage. Others sat in a folding chair clustered in the shade of a tree, or just sat in the grass. Courtney Moody, the council's activities director, said she was pleased with the turnout. "This is our first try at this. We're going to do it again next month," she said. "The dates for those concerts aren't nailed down yet. Since we're not allowed to open yet, next month I'm trying to offer some more outdoor activities that we'll be able to do, and we're looking forward to possibly opening in August, but we're waiting on the go-ahead." Moody was already thinking of ways to make the next event even better. "Next time, I'm going to see about getting a couple pop-up tents from people who have them so we can offer more shade outside," she said. "But this is mostly for those who can drive here, stay in your car, have your AC running if it's hot, roll down your window, and listen to the music. For those who walk or bring a motorcycle or something, we'll have some chairs out here so people can sit and watch." Ellie Wilhite sat in the grass under a tree with her dog Ben, reading a book and enjoying the music. "The weather's great for this," she said. Wilhite said she's a frequent visitor to the Council on Aging when it opened, and she likes to listen to music. "I'm set," she said. In local news briefs, a portion of Park Avenue West, one lane for repairs. Due to road repairs, traffic on Park Avenue West from Bowman Street to North Weldon Avenue is a single lane east and westbound. The lanes are expected to be reopened by the end of the workday Monday, barring any unanticipated problems. Construction signs are posted, and questions can be directed to 419-755-9806. Sports physicals offered at Akron Children's Hospital Urgent Care. Students planning to participate in high school sports this fall can take advantage of convenient sports physicals at Akron Children's Hospital Urgent Care location in Mansfield this summer. Sports physicals required for high school student athletes by the Ohio High School Athletic Association, or the OHSAA, are available through October 30th. Appointments are available Monday through Friday from 3 to 6:30 p.m. at the Mansfield Urgent Care at 1029 South Trumbull Road. For an appointment, call 419-521-2950. Sports physicals cost $45 per student athlete. Payments by credit or debit card is due at the time of service, and insurance will not be billed. These appointments are for sports physicals only, not camp or pre-employment physicals or immunizations. Sports physicals are not meant to replace annual well visits, which are recommended for all ages. All OHSAA forms must be completed and printed prior to arrival, or the appointment will be rescheduled. Forms are available from coaches and school athletic departments or online at ohsaa.org. Completion of a physical doesn't guarantee clearance for sports participation. Teens who wear glasses or contact lenses should bring them to their appointment. Patients under the age of 18 must be accompanied by a parent or a legal guardian. Canoe and kayak race at Charles Mill Lake is postponed. In Mifflin, the Black Fork River Canoe and Kayak Race, originally set for this Saturday, has been rescheduled for July 18th due to weather concerns. The start line will be at the Charles Mill Boat Ramp, 1272 Ohio 430 in Mifflin. There will be a 6-mile loop race as well as a 3-mile novice race for beginners. There will be classes for men, women, and mixed teams. Awards will be presented to the top 3 finishers in each class. All types of canoes, kayaks, and stand-up paddle boards, or SUPs, are welcome. For additional information, visit ohiopaddler.com or contact Walt Markwell at 330-807-6337. And a teen remembered at the 4th Annual Red Cross Blood Drive in Bellevue. The community is invited to give blood in memory of Josh Blaser at a special American Red Cross blood drive from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. Wednesday at St. Paul Lutheran Church, 48 Church Street in Belleville. A junior at Clear Fork High, Josh passed away from SUDEP, or sudden unexpected death from epilepsy, which caused a seizure in February 2017. He was active in his school's soccer and tennis teams and marching band. He hoped to one day enter the medical profession. He is remembered as a happy, positive, and good-spirited friend. This is the fourth blood drive held in memory of Josh. The first 3 drives resulted in 208 donations. This year, organizers seek 60 donations. The blood drive comes as the Red Cross has an ongoing need for blood donations amidst coronavirus uncertainties. The Red Cross is now testing all blood, platelet, and plasma donations for COVID-19 antibodies for a limited time, providing donors insight into whether they have been exposed to the coronavirus. Donors who help support the urgent need by giving at this drive will be able to view the results in 7 to 10 days after donation through the Red Cross Blood Donor app or at redcrossblood.org. All those who donate blood now through August 31st in the Central Ohio region will receive a coupon for buy one get one free entry to the Columbus Zoo and Aquarium and be entered into a weekly drawing for 4 tickets to Zumbizi Bay through July 31st. Upcoming meetings. The Mansfield Charter Review Commission will meet via Zoom at 5 p.m. July 7th. A live stream of the meeting will be on the City of Mansfield's Facebook page. Public comments can be emailed to City Council at ci.mansfield.oh.us. The Mid-Ohio Educational Service Center Board of Governors will meet at noon on July 15th in the Mid-Ohio ESC Boardroom at 890 West 4th Street in Mansfield. Well, we have another article entitled Excitement Grows as Mid-Ohio Welcomes Fans to Vintage Grand Prix by Jake Furr. The annual Vintage Grand Prix of Mid-Ohio kicks off this weekend as the first event of the year where fans are allowed to attend. The annual Vintage Grand Prix of Mid-Ohio kicks off this weekend. I'm so sorry, another duplicate sentence. In Lexington, Ohio, Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course President Craig Rust has to feel like a kid in a candy store. Earlier in the week, Rust received word from Ohio Governor Mike DeWine's office that he and the crew at Mid-Ohio have done enough to hold the first events of the season with fans allowed to attend. This weekend, Mid-Ohio hosts the 38th Annual Vintage Grand Prix, an event sanctioned by the Sports Car Vintage Racing Association, or the SVRA. The Vintage Grand Prix is the longest-running event at Mid-Ohio in course history, but it gains a special level of importance as it is the first fan-attended race at Mid-Ohio since the Cooper Tires ARX of Mid-Ohio on October 5th and 6th. It is so important just because we are able to get back and do what we do, Rust said. As with any other business, this is ours. We put on motorsports events, so it is so important for us, and it's nice because this weekend is one of our smaller events, and it will allow us to shake some rust off we've built up during quarantine. Everyone is looking forward to seeing cars on the track. 24 races from Friday to Sunday. The Vintage Grand Prix, which will run Friday through Sunday this weekend, features 24 total races. Triumph will be the featured car marquee highlighted by the Kastner Cup. Competitions in International GT, Miata Heritage Cup, S2000 and Vintage Classic Endurance will also take place at the historic track. There are 12 additional group races that will feature multiple classes of vintage and classic cars, but for the first time in event history, Trans Am Series and open wheel action from F4, U.S. Championship, and Formula Regional American Championships powered by Honda will be featured during the Vintage Grand Prix. But the real challenge will be off the track for Rust and his Mid-Ohio staff. Our hope is that people, competitors, and crews, along with our staff and fans, use common sense, Rust said. We want them to follow the guidelines that everyone is aware of by now with social distancing. We are allowing fans to go in the paddocks and check out cars, but we also ask them to be respectful of crews' space and other fans' space. When they come out and sit on the mounds, we ask them to use social distancing, and most importantly, if they do find themselves in a place where there might be a few more people around than they thought, to get out of that situation. We are also encouraging people to wear masks just in case. If that makes them more comfortable to come out to an event, we encourage them to do so. Fans are being asked to use common sense. While Rust is confident Mid-Ohio fans will use common sense as well as social distancing recommendations, he isn't going to just let fans use their own judgment. We will, as a staff of people around the track doing various things, try our best, Rust said. If we see something that we feel is unsafe, we will go over and ask politely. If we see 40 people hanging out at a campsite, we will send security over and ask them to separate politely. Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course President Craig Rust welcomes fans back to Mid-Ohio for this weekend's Vintage Grand Prix. Yet, Rust does not anticipate any problems occurring over race weekend. He knows fans have been clamoring for racing for a long time, so he is confident fans will conduct themselves responsibly so Mid-Ohio can continue to provide events for fans to attend. I don't, Rust said. I won't say this is going to be perfect, but I also know with this event and the demographics of the people who come to a vintage event get it. It is easy to explain to them. We are fortunate that everything we are doing is 99% outside. The only indoor spaces that fans will be able to go to is the restrooms. It's all open air, so that helps. I understand where some people are going on with things as normal, but we will be giving every fan an assessment as they pull up, taking temperatures, asking questions, and we have hand sanitizer all over the facility. We have extra signage all over the facility, and we have distancing tape at the concession stands. We anticipate that people will just be happy they have been allowed to come back out to Mid-Ohio. We receive many phone calls from people asking about tickets for events, and we've had to turn them away. Our thought is, hey folks, we have been given an opportunity to allow fans back in here, so please respect that and follow our guidelines so we can keep doing this. We've been working on the reopening for a very long time, Russ said. We've had track rentals going on here for about a month with car clubs coming out. Our driving school has been open. We have been operating like we normally do, but it is the large-scale events with fans that we are ready to get back to. This isn't a test run. We have the guidelines and protocols in place. We can certainly learn after this weekend. If there is something that doesn't go quite as we thought it would, we can make the tweaks and adjustments. We have time in July to do all that before we get to our IndyCar event in August. Now it's time to hear some police calls. On the 100 block of Penn Avenue, officers Thursday responded to the area for shots fired. Contact was made with the resident, and she stated she was asleep in her bed when she awoke to gunshots. The resident located 2 bullet holes in her front windows. A bullet was located on the floor inside the residence, and 14 casings were located on Hill Avenue near Penn Avenue. The victim lives at the residence with her 2 small children and stated she does not know why anyone would target her. Photographs were taken and attempts to contact neighbors were met with negative results, police said. On the 200 block of Orange Street, an officer saw a woman run across a driveway and begin punching a woman in the head. The officer took both women to jail. One woman was charged with assault, and the other woman falsification because she lied to officers about the identity of her son who has an active warrant. On South Main Street, officers arrested a 57-year-old man on 3 active warrants after they found him Wednesday walking on the sidewalk with his pants falling off of him. The man attempted to pull away from officers who were handcuffing him. He was charged with open container liquor, resisting arrest, drunkenness, and failure to appear. On the 600 block of South Diamond Street, a 64-year-old man had fallen into the woods and could not get back up due to his intoxicated state. He was transported home. He was issued a summons on a charge of drunkenness in lieu of arrest.